Girls Cafe. Today we're going to be doing some homemade pinwheel pork chops. Now this is a really easy recipe that is delicious. We're going to throw in some goat cheese, some spinach, and some other herbs and spices. We're also going to make an easy, simple homemade vinaigrette with blackberries, raspberries, and some fresh lemon. So if you guys are interested in seeing how me, myself, and I, Bama Girl Cafe, slays this dinner tonight, then you might want to stay tuned in. With that being said, see you back here in a second. Alright guys, so we're going to get started. First we're going to start out with some black pepper, some onion powder, and some Lori seasoning salt. Now when I do this recipe, I like to use thin chopped pork chops. Thin sliced pork chops, I mean, you guys. So I like to go ahead and put my seasoning salt down, then my onion powder, and then I'm going to go ahead and put on some black pepper. So I like to use fresh ground black pepper whenever I have the chance, and I really do like the McCormick one. So now we're going to go ahead and flip these pork chops over, and we're going to do the same thing that we did to the first side. And you want to be really light-handed with your seasoning because these pork chops are thin, and you're going to also be adding in some herbs and spices into the middle of them. So now we're going to go ahead and get ready to start preparing our veggies for the stuffing inside the pork chops. We're going to be using fresh celery, green onion, thyme, rosemary, fresh parsley, and bell peppers. So what we're going to do first is start by chopping up our celery, and we're just going to go ahead and start to slice it. Now be careful, you don't want to lose a fingertip or a nail with the knife. So now we're going to go ahead and start giving this celery a rough chop. And you can chop your celery to whatever size you like. I just like to get mine kind of small, about the size of a pea. But you can keep chopping until you get it a little finer, or you can leave it a little chunky. Or it's just all in what you like. So I'm going to run my knife over this a couple more times just to get it to the size I like. And we're going to go ahead and place it in our glass bowl. Now we're going to get started with our green onion. And what I like to do is cut the bottoms off and just push it to the side. And then I like to go in and just start slicing up my green onion. Now whenever I'm stuffing something, I tend to use green onion versus an Italian onion or a white onion, because sometimes onions can spoil certain foods when they're mixed together, so you definitely have to be careful. So now that we got these cut, I'm going to go ahead and give them a rough chop. Just to break them up a little, and now I'm going to go ahead and put those in the clear bowl. Now we're going to go ahead and get started on our bell pepper, and I'm just going to slice it the long way. Now I'm going to go ahead and start dicing the bell pepper up. And once again, I like to get mine to a certain size, as you can see in the video. But if you like your veggies a little bit chunkier, then chop them to your desired size. There's no right or wrong way to chop up vegetables. Now we're going to give these a bit of a rough chop. Now please don't be intimidated by this recipe because it has a lot of herbs and vegetables. This is a budget friendly recipe and you can do it with any vegetable you have in the house to stuff the pork chops. As long as you have spinach or kale, you're fine. Now we're going to go ahead and start on our fresh parsley. And we're just going to chop this up and get it to whatever consistency you like. Some people like their herbs a little chopped a little rough. Some like them thin. It's all on what you like, honey. But I like to give mine a nice rough chop. You also want to chop your herbs when you're making dishes like this because it helps to release the oils in the herbs. So now we're going to go ahead and we're going to start working with our thyme. And basically what I do when I'm working with any type of vegetable that's on a stem, I just pull down the opposite direction of the stem. And that pretty much just releases the leaves. I'm going to do a few more pieces. And we're going to go ahead and give it a nice chop just to release the oils and the fragrance of the thyme. Now when you're doing a dish like this, try to use primarily fresh herbs and spices because it will make a world of difference in the stuffing. Now we're going to go ahead and we're going to get rosemary. And we're going to do the same technique as we did with the thyme. Let me move this pan out of the way, y'all. I had so much stuff on the counter. It is ridiculous. So I'm going to continue to peel our rosemary back off of the leaves. And we don't really need to chop these because they're kind of fine. So it can just go over into the bowl. So we're going to peel off a few more pieces of rosemary. And then we'll be done. So this is what we have. We have our fresh cilantro, our fresh parsley, our fresh oregano, bell pepper, and green onion. Now we have our Italian sausage. So we're going to take 2 of these sausages and we're going to cut them out of the casing. So what I like to do is just place them on a piece of foil and slit the skin down the middle and just peel it out. Peel the sausage out of the skin. And we're going to repeat the same step on the second one that we did on the first one. Now we're going to go ahead and put some olive oil in our pan and get it nice and hot. And you want to make sure you move that oil around the pan because you want to coat the entire pan, because you're going to start sauteing off your vegetables and herbs, and then we're going to add in our Italian sausage last. Now, it's been a long time since I made this dish, so please guys, bear with me. So you want to constantly keep moving your veggies in the pan and your herbs because you don't want them to burn or stick. I wish you guys could smell the aroma coming from this pan. This rosemary and thyme and fresh parsley is really doing something to my senses. Smells so delicious. Now make sure you keep your eye on the pan because you definitely do not want these to burn. So now we're going to go ahead and break up our sausage in the pan with the herbs and spices and the veggies. And you're just going to go ahead and start breaking up the Italian sausage and mixing it around in the pan with the vegetables. And go ahead and start to break up the chunks of sausage, and it'll help it cook evenly and fast. Alright guys, so now we're going to take that and we're going to pour it in the bowl of spinach. And most of the time I don't have to put the spinach on the stove, but this spinach was really fresh and it was not wilting down with the heat of the sausage and the vegetables. So I'm going to give it a quick stir, and then I'm going to head back over to the stove and place it on the stove so that it can wilt down a little bit. Now I got this spinach from a farmer's market, and it was like really fresh and organic, and it just does not wilt down like regular store-bought spinach. So we're gonna have to take it back over to the stove, and that's okay. Alright guys, let's head back over to the stove. We're gonna dump this back in the pan, and we're just gonna use the heat to get the spinach to wilt down a little bit so that we can add in the cheese. And I'm going to place the lid over and let it sweat down a little bit and give it a couple stirs. And it is almost ready. Oh my god, this smells so good. I love spinach and peppers and onions and Italian sausage. It just smells so good. So we're going to go ahead and place it back in the bowl. And then we're going to go ahead and add some goat cheese with cranberries and tarragon. Now if you don't like goat cheese, you can use mozzarella, you can use parmesan, you can use any type of cheese that you like, but I love this cheese, and I got it at my local Dillon's and it was $5.99. I like goat cheese because it's a little bit lower in fat and it tastes better to me, and it gives you a little bit more of a creamy consistency, and the cranberries in it just give it an excellent taste. I like to eat this just on salad, but it really took this dish to the next level. So definitely try goat cheese if you ever get the chance. So now we're done mixing everything in all together. We're going to push this off to the side, and we're going to let that cool because you don't want to put any hot vegetables on cold meat. It will cause foodborne illness. So now we're going to go ahead and get started with our creamy balsamic vinegar dressing. Now I like to use balsamic vinegar anytime I'm making a salad dressing, and I like to use olive oil, and I also like to use grapeseed oil. So here's our olive oil. And we're going to just take a fresh lemon and zest it into the balsamic vinegar and the oils. Now anytime you zest a lemon, you want to constantly keep turning it because you don't want any of the white part to get in. You only want the zest, the yellow part of the lemon. So I'm going to be using my NutriBullet to make this salad dressing. So what I'm going to do now is go ahead and start adding in some raspberries and some blackberries. I'm also going to slice the whole lemon, and I'm going to juice the lemon in there. Now this is like a mix between a creamy vinaigrette, and it's really tasty, and it's bright and pretty. You definitely will not find this in a grocery store. And I like to make my own salad dressings because I have more control over what goes into them. I try to stay away from soy and a lot of other products that go into go into store-bought salad dressings. So I tend to make a lot of my salad dressings. If you'd like to see some more of my salad dressing recipes, then please leave a comment down below. So we're going to go ahead and put the lid on here. And we're going to go ahead and pop this onto the NutriBullet. Twist and let go. So we're actually going to be making a salad tonight too. So that's one of the reasons I wanted to make a salad dressing, because I love to make salads with berries and fruits. So I tend to make my own salad dressing to go with whichever fruit I'm going to be eating that night on my salad. So we're going to add in a little bit of olive oil. And we're going to put the lid back on, and we're going to pop it back on to the NutriBullet. And let it go for a good hot minute. And we are done. So now we have our creamy raspberry and blackberry balsamic vinegar salad dressing. And it is so tasty, you guys. And creamy and rich. Okay guys, so we've let our spinach mix cool down. And we're going to go ahead and start wrapping it in the pork chops. Now, when I'm using any raw meat on my cooking boards, I wrap them with saran wrap because I don't want to contaminate my boards. So that's why the saran wrap on there. So we're going to stuff it and just roll it. And we're going to repeat the same steps. Stuff it. Get a nice amount in there and just keep rolling. Tuck and roll, honey. That's what I call it. And you're going to want to place the open side down, face down. I hope you guys like these type of recipes. I'm really trying to incorporate more of what I eat on a day-to-day basis on the blogs. So I hope you guys are enjoying it, because I'm definitely enjoying making these videos. So like I said, this will not take long to cook. It takes about 20 to 25 minutes to cook. Give or take, depending on how thick or thin your pork chops are. So it all just depends on how you like your pork chops. Okay, so what I do is I place some at the end of one end of the pork chop. And then I just roll and tuck and roll. And this is the finished product. So we're going to go ahead and put these in the oven for about 20 to 25 minutes. And we're going to let them cook on 365. Or let them cook until they're done, depending on how thick or thin your pork chops are sliced. So now we have a spring mixed lettuce combination that I picked up from my local commissary. I've already cleaned it. Now we're going to take some fresh raspberries, blueberries, and blackberries that I've already rinsed off and just put them over the salad mix. Now I'm going to take a piece of cucumber and I'm just going to slice it in half and then chop it. Alright guys, so now we're done slicing our cucumbers, and we're just going to sprinkle it on top. And I just love this salad because it's so fresh and light, and it's got berries. And this is the best time of the year to buy berries because they're really sweet, and I have a lot of them. And I do plan on buying some and sticking them in the freezers because berries freeze just fine. All you have to do is clean them off, put them in a good size freezer bag, and they will hold for months. Alright guys, so now our pork chops are done. And they smell so delicious, and I hope they look yummy to you guys because they look really yummy to me. So we're going to go ahead and just place them on the plate. If you'd like to know where I got this plate from, I got this plate from IKEA the last time I went to Kansas City. If you guys would like more information on the dishes I use, just let me know and I can do a review on them. I've had them for about 4 months now, and I absolutely love them. Alright guys, this is our stuffed pork chops, pinwheel stuff, whatever you want to call them. They are ready to go, honey. This is some good pig right here. Alright guys, so I'm going to take this one and slice it in half so you can see how it looks. And it is so tender, it doesn't take much effort at all. So this is what it looks like. It's all stuffed up and yummy. It's so delicious and it smells so good. So I'm going to just show you guys how I like to plate my food. I believe we eat with our eyes before we eat with our mouths. So I always like my food to look extra pretty on a plate. I guess that's the chef in me, right? So now we have our salad down. We're going to place down one pork chop the long way, and then we're going to place the other one at an angle, and voila! There we go, honey. It's all ready. Yum, yum. And now we're going to just take some of this salad dressing and just drizzle a little bit on there. And I'm feeling a little friendly tonight, so let's decorate the plate too. Hey guys, so we're done for tonight. I hope you guys enjoyed my version of pinwheel pork chops, and also that you enjoyed my vinaigrette. Now I like to make my own vinaigrette because it's a lot healthier and I know what I'm getting. With that being said, if you like this video, give me 2 thumbs up. If you have another dinner video that you would like to see, then please leave me a comment down below. Now, I have had a few suggestions for videos that I will be trying to get up at the end of the month. So you guys, if you've made a suggestion, then please stay tuned in because your video will be coming up soon. So I just want to say thank you guys all for joining me here on Bama Girl Cafe. Remember, food is love. I love you guys. And if you've been hanging around, why not go ahead and subscribe? See you guys back here later. Bye-bye.